Hello, and thanks for joining us on the podcast that discusses all things gaming. Coming to you from the home of Gen Con and the gaming capital of the world, this is The Established Facts.
Hello guys, this is Derek Knutsen from The Established Facts. I'm here with Avital and Lance, which you have heard before.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm also here with Robert and
Nick and Dara.
I am so done right now. This is what we're calling an after action report for a game session that we just ran. Now, I'm wondering if Lance and Avital can give some background on this, because you're going to need to give background on the situation, because this all just came to a head, this whole role-playing.
Well...
Okay, I got my stuff. Thank you.
Before this session... Crap, how far back do I have to go?
A while. To the beginning.
Okay.
No, you're fine.
The last long-term role-playing game that I played was my first long-term role-playing game, and I played a character called Tarala. She was a half-elf gunslinger. Lance played a character in that game who was a half-celestial called Malach. We played through that game. We, ran into issues and beat a big boss and etc. But, this game that we're playing now, I am playing a character called Castella, who is the half-sister of my character from the last game, Tarala. Lance is still playing his character from the last game, who has just leveled up and changed names.
And abilities. He's like a full angel now. But we wrote backstory with the characters of Tarala and Malach at the time, of how they fell in love and, were together before the world ended and the angel got drafted into the celestial army. Yeah. He was the guardian angel, quote unquote, because he was only half celestial for the party at the time of adventurers. So when the party went on, it split, and Tarala went back home to see her family to try to see what happened with them. The rest of the party went on to try to do more adventures. He asked his deity, what should I do? Because the party is split and I can't protect both of them. And the deity told him to follow Tarala and be her guardian angel. So, they go back to Palagane to find her family. And they do. And certain adventures follow.
And then the world
ends.
And this is where the GM messed up. Because the GM had a brain fart and forgot that Malach and Tarala were the ones that were in love. So I came up with a new husband for Tarala. And they were frozen in space when the when Palagane got destroyed.
Right. And not like dead floating in space, like they were in suspended animation stasis on a spaceship somewhere. Okay.
So, flash to the new campaign, and Castella wishes, was that correct?
Okay, we were talking, we had beaten a big bad boss who couldn't save the son of our character over here, Jezebel, played by Dara. Couldn't save the son of her character, but we were all granted boons. And Tarala said, sorry, not Tarala, Castella said, I want my sister back. And then a spaceship landed, and Castella and her husband, Arkadas, walked off the spaceship.
Yes.
So Arkadas was entirely my fault.
Yeah. Although we did write up, backstory for him and character and everything, so... But, so then, the character that I was playing in this game, Castella, got back her half-sister, Tarala, along with her husband, Arkadas, who she didn't love. And, as it happens, Tarala is pregnant with twins by the half-celestial Malach, and doesn't love her husband, but married him because the world was ending, and never thought that she would see her angel again.
And those are the days of our lives.
I have nicknamed this group, because I'm running 3 groups through the campaign. It's not the same storylines, but I've nicknamed this group the CW group for obvious reasons.
So, in this season, it starts with they have just... The party has just met Tarala and Arkadas. And then all of a sudden, a flash of light and an angel appears.
Yep.
And it just happens to be Malak, who is now graduated to being his new self, Omniel.
Uh-huh.
So now Tarala is faced with, I'm awake, and there's my sister, who was much younger than me, and now
Is much
older than me.
Hello?
My husband and I have survived destruction.
Somehow.
And oh yeah, there's the father of my children and the love of my life.
Now, Arkadas was a ranger,
Yes.
and his favorite enemies were...
Goblins, orcs, and good outsiders. Which good outsiders includes angels.
Yep,
So, yeah.
for obvious reasons.
He was
Yeah.
designed that way so that if it ever came down to blows, it would be easier for him to try to hurt the angel.
Yeah.
So, as they were going through their storyline, they appeared in the what I call the Splinter Plane of Pelagane, and they were sent to rescue a sister and another version of Jezebel's son.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
And here's
From an
where things start
archmage.
going bad for Arkadas.
Yes, because the entire ship is crewed by goblins that were once slaves. So this,
Who all hate rock for reasons.
yes,
Had to be locked in a room.
and then
No. They loved me.
oh, that's right, they
hated
Arkadas.
They
Arkadas.
hate Arkadas.
Because he hated them.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And Rock, played by Nick, is a half-orc. So Arkadas not really fitting in on this ship
Too much.
at the
That's why
time.
you shouldn't be a racist.
Eventually, they got to the Archmage's castle, and so we're going to fast forward through a little bit of the nonsense that happened there. But this came to blows during this essentially session-long combat,
Yep.
and it was Arkadas disappeared before the combat happened.
Not my fault.
It's not your
Arkadas,
Not your fault.
where are you, Arkadas?
and they were really trying to find Arkadas.
That was the level, the volume level that we were asking for. Arkadas, where are you?
Tarala was more like, where the hell is my husband? Wasn't worried about him because he can take care of himself. And
Well, they found him.
He wasn't gone for very long, according to their perception. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So they opened up the door to the castle and then went into the first room. It was a very large room, and they saw 4 creatures there. A guy with gills, so it looked like a merman, Bandersnatch, and 2. They're called Ecorches, Ecorche, but they're undead. So Omniel cast a spell saying, "Where is Arkadas?" from a scroll, and the scroll said it was their spell said it was in this room, but they couldn't see him. But the angel has true sight, and the only creatures he saw were those four creatures. And then, because of true sight, he saw that Arkadas was changed in form to this merman type creature. So the fight ensued.
No, hang on. Who shot first?
That would be the character shot first.
Ian shot first.
First.
Because there was this giant thing covered in spines and whatnot, and I didn't like it.
Evil.
And I shot it because I was told it was evil. So I'm just following orders like a good soldier. So, don't hold that against me too
Or a
badly.
good rogue.
Yeah, something like
He
that.
used to be a
But hey, when you're invisible and you can get away with things, you just do it.
When your orders come from yourself.
Yeah, when your order comes from yourself, you just do it.
The Bandersnatch attacked soon after that, and he attacked Tarala. And that's when we found out.
About something very, very important.
Actually,
Yes.
I actually don't have
So,
So the Underwood helm's perfect.
back when they had first reunited
Yeah, I
with
got it.
Tarala and Malak,
Written down.
Malak, or who is now Omnia, the angel had cast
Yeah.
a spell. And that spell was
Oh man, I don't even remember
something.
what it's called. It's a Pathfinder spell, and what it does is allows for you to absorb the damage of another player. And he made that a permanent spell. So any damage that Tarala would take, physical or spell-induced or area of effect, would go right through her to him.
Now, the important bit of that spell is that DR doesn't matter. His DR.
Oh yes.
The angel.
So the angel is immune to is immune to poison, is immune to sleep, is immune to paralysis, and has quite a few other magic items that make him immune to most types of damage. And he has hit points out the wazoo, so even if he does take damage, it's not a whole lot. But Tarala doesn't have these immunities or resistances, so the damage that would go to her hits her armor class and deals the damage to him as if she was the one receiving it. So any fire damage that goes to her hits him as if it was hitting her.
So,
He became
Arkadas.
target player.
So Arkadas, having seen that the Bandersnatch's damage went through to Omniel, said, that's interesting. So target player, Avital, character...
Target character
Tarala.
Tarala.
Yeah. At one point she was playing 3 characters. So...
It's difficult, but I managed.
Yes. Which is impressive for a newer player. So
Gender swapping and everything.
yeah. So everybody was focused on Tarala, except for the two undead creatures who went against Rock. Now, every time they hit Rock, they did some damage, but the bigger thing was that it was 1 bleed and 1 con drain per hit.
Yes. Thankfully, it started with 24 con.
Yes.
And how far down did they get you?
They only got me 4, actually.
Down to 20?
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
No. But they did plenty of other damage along with that. Until you healed me.
Alright.
So,
So let's just go through what happened, like, round by round.
well, pretty much. Fight happened,
Yeah,
and Tarala realized that although Malak had battle linked everyone's minds together, so we knew that this creature that looked like a merfolk was Arkadas, but he was shooting at her, and she was pregnant with twins, so she's going to protect her children, so she was firing at Arkadas as well.
And as soon as she fired at Arkadas triggered an ability from his Tarnhelm that changed him into a gargantuan dragon.
What type of dragon was
I
that?
may or may not have that helm now.
You do. It was a black dragon.
Black dragon. Okay.
Yeah. And he still had his bow, and he was still firing. And it was a very special bow. It was a mythic version of the Dragon Breath bow. Sort of an item that I created.
Shooting spears.
Yes.
So in the first round, an effect went off that was supposed to hit and then knock people down.
The only person
The only person that failed their saving throw
was Tarala.
was Tarala.
Yes.
Which meant that the only person that was knocked down was the angel.
Because
or
womp,
Omniel.
womp.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
And it only got more painful from there.
And so Arkadas kept attacking his wife, Tarala, because that damage was going through to the angel. The Bandersnatch also kept attacking Tarala because the damage was going through to the angel. She was receiving nothing, and that damage was going all to the angel, so she was getting very concerned.
Yes.
And her sister Castella was preoccupied with taking down the other creatures that had appeared around them, the giant wasps.
Yeah, because
She took several of those out.
Arkadas is a... He came in as a... or actually was created as a ranger, and his current class is a hunter, feral hunter. So he came in as a feral hunter 20, Hierophant 5, so mythic.
Dang.
Yeah.
While this is happening, Nick's character Rock is fighting the two undead.
Wrestling.
Dara's character Jezebel is plinking off this. What is the big thing again?
Bandersnatch.
The Bandersnatch. Robert's character Ian is also trying to kill this Bandersnatch.
And he does.
Kills
Yeah,
it
he
once.
did. He killed it.
Comes right back to life. And then everyone else starts picking off the Bandersnatch, stealing his kills.
God darn it!
My favorite line, because the angel is down and can't do anything physically because he's busy doing other things, came from Jezebel. Is, what are you doing? And he just looked at her and says, I healed you.
He also put down a healing symbol, which inadvertently healed the Bandersnatch.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I forgot who actually took down. Who took down Arkadas?
It was Jezebel.
Jezebel.
With one
Dara's.
5-shot shot.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Could you please tell the listeners what your weapons are?
Well, my weapons are themed off of certain female activities, like menopause, PMS, and hot flashes. Hot flash does not have a range, and it has acid and electricity damage. So when I hit the big dragon all 4 times, I also added 2 more deeds to that. A signature deed that adds +8 to every hit,
Nice.
and another deed that it's the instead of getting its AC, it gets its touch AC, so it's a lot easier to hit. And with all 4 of those and the damages, it just took him down.
Yeah, because a gargantuan dragon is pretty easy to touch.
Yes.
It's not so easy to hit, but it is easy to touch.
Yeah.
So while all this is happening, every bit of damage that Tarala is supposed to be taking, the angel is taking.
Fire damage, cold damage,
Everything.
Bee
well,
stings.
bee stings.
Scratches, swords, anything you can possibly throw. And I'm gonna throw some numbers out, and numbers don't really matter. But he started with 602 hit points,
Wow.
He ended the day where?
and at the end of the session, he was at -69.
That's terrible.
That's how much damage Derek threw at just Tarala.
Including a charge
So-
and like 5 attacks around and all
He
the other
knows
nonsense.
he's dying. He decides to plane hop to try to go somewhere and think. And in the process of him coming up with the idea, okay, the only way for me to save them all is to sacrifice myself and kill this thing, Jezebel kills the thing.
Yeah.
So he pops back into existence and promptly dies. Falling
really-
to the ground in a crumpled heap.
Really sucks.
Sorry.
Now, before people start sending me hate mail, ahead of this game, Lance and Avital talked to me about this. And so they were saying, just story-wise, because of this weird triangle-ish love story here, you need to kill off the angel.
We did not say that. We said you need to maybe hurt him.
Well, no. I said ultimately what has to happen is, because she's married, and because he's an angel and a divine being, their marriage being a divine sanctioned thing, he couldn't intercede. He couldn't have the woman he loves. So if he couldn't live with her, he would rather die for her. So ultimately, at the end of the game, he was going to end up dying for her. Derek just hit the fast forward button on that. And the reaction, Avital's reaction for her character, was probably one of the best moments in role-playing I've ever had.
There were real tears.
There were real tears.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm highly invested in these characters. Just, I don't know. I mean, as a writer, I get involved in my characters anyways. But I've just been playing. Well, Tarala was the first character I ever played for a long time, for more than one game, and so I'm very connected to her, and especially with Will Casella. And imagine, if I'm this character, I'm pregnant with twins, the love of my life is dying. The man, my best friend, who I didn't love romantically, was attacking me, but now is dead.
And so
after he died, then I get
this. Well,
note.
Actually, Ian, the rogue, decided to loot the body.
Yeah, the opportunistic neutral good rogue is like, well, if he's not going to be using all these fun magic items,
Crying.
then I'm going to put him in my bag.
I wasn't crying until I got this note.
So this note plus a key was on Arkadas' body, and I'll read it.
Which was given to me to roll.
Yeah, so, dearest Tarala, I hope that someday you can forgive me for what I did today. It was all a part of getting you this key to the inner sanctum, which is the mage's inner sanctum. If I didn't play my part, the archmage would have known. Both Dina, which is a sister of the captain of the boat that brought them to this island, and Zebulon, which is...
my son.
Yep, are there. Look for them in the dungeon. Do not speak the mage's name. He will be able to track you where you are if you speak it. I am a weak man. I gave into jealousy and hatred. These long 20 years without you has been both rough and instructive. I still do not like the angel, but I understand why you chose him over me. I hope there were some times you think fondly of the times we spent together, that there was even a little bit of love there. Now you are free with deepest love, Arkadas.
That was when I cried.
That got everybody.
Wow, I cried. I was crying, literally.
Like-
Me, Avital, was crying for my character then at that point.
Now, take us through what got you the feels from that note.
Plural, the feels, more than one.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Me is my character. I'm pregnant. The man that I love was drafted into an angelic army. My best friend says, marry me and I will take care of your children. I say, okay. The world is ending and then we're in a battle, and then something happens. I don't know this, but we're frozen in stasis on a spaceship, and then suddenly I'm awake again with my husband, and there's my sister, and she was a teenager, an elf teenager, and now she's 100 years older than me, and we're on a different world. I'm still only as pregnant as I was. I'm maybe, a
couple months
pregnant. And I'm trying to take this all in. And then suddenly an angel appears, and holy crap, it's the love of my life, who is the father of my children, that I thought was just gone forever. Mm-hmm. But I'm married, and so I'm trying to deal with that. Mm-hmm. And then we're in battle, and something attacks me, and I can't defend, and I am flinching, but I feel nothing. And then I see the love of my life, my angel, fall to the ground in pain.
Mm-hmm. A new sensation for him.
As things keep attacking me, he just keeps being in pain on the ground, and then my husband that's attacking me to get to the angel, and then this note, and it's just, I mean, how am I supposed to deal with this?
Lay down, try not to cry. Cry a lot.
I mean, literally, that's what happened. I mean, it's just so much. But okay, so then we're at this point where my angel has died. My husband is dead and has written me this note. I have this key now. Mm-hmm. But I have in my possession a gift that my angel gave me when he first reappeared.
Actually, pause on that. So,
okay.
Castella.
Oh, Castella prays to her deity, the universe, for her sister
to be happy again.
To be happy
and safe.
And safe. And apparently that the universe said yes, but
and then you also did a perception check to find that the halo of the angel.
Okay. My Tarala, the angel had given me his halo, which was a golden chakram.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A family heirloom. It's been in his family since angels were invented.
Yeah, and I had to pull that out, and so I pulled out this halo, and what does it say?
It said, "Eternally with love to you,
Malak."
And that's engraved, and there's magic through there. She doesn't know exactly what it does yet, but it's there.
Yes. So I don't know, and I'm holding this, and I don't know what to do with it. But I have in my possession what was a wedding present. I have Omniel's feather quill, which is a quill pen that is actually a feather from his wing. Mm-hmm. Which, that alone makes it a priceless item, but then it has magical property of being a quill that bestows one use of a wish spell.
Now, why did Gazadriel, why did he give her the...
When Gazardia, which is what Omniel / Malak's name was in a different iteration, found out that the love of his life, Tarala, was married, because he was speaking to a beholder that was asking him questions, and he only tells the truth. Mm-hmm. So it asked him, what is your one guilty pleasure? And he reached into his pocket at the time and pulled out a single bullet. And he says that whenever he begins to feel lonely or doubt himself, he holds onto that bullet because it's the one thing that he had left from Tarala. And that's the point where Derek says, oh, well, let me show you a vision of her. And that's where her husband came into play, because Derek likes to mess with his players like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
So, this person you loved married somebody else, still alive. That's all you know. So, he puts the bullet back in his pocket. He's mostly angel now, so a lot of his human emotions have left him. So he makes a plan that if they're ever reunited, that he wants to congratulate her on her wedding, and he begins to become a crafter. So he becomes a magic item crafter and then a mythic item crafter. And one of the things that he learns is how to do a wish spell. So, thinking, put a little piece of me into this gift, he removes one of the feathers from his own wing.
Which angels don't do.
Which angels don't do.
New rule, angels should not do.
Crafts this magic writing pen so that she can make one wish, and hopefully his deity, which, spoilers, is the universe, but not Castella's universe, a much larger deity of the universe, will allow it, it will come true. So that's how she got that present. And it is kind of ironic that, and what got me about the note that he wrote was, he did that for her, to help her. He allowed this evil thing to take over him. Arkadas allowed the evil thing to take over him for Tarala, even though he was trying to kill her the whole time. So he's doing this for her benefit. Mm-hmm. The angel's dying for her benefit. This whole episode based on the love triangle that was for Tarala, Arkadas, and Omniel.
Mm-hmm.
So TLDR, we kicked in the front door, and that's about as far as we got.
Okay.
Well, we got into the courtyard.
All right. So we got to the point where Arkadas and Malak, or Omniel, the angel, are both dead. And Tarala uses, after Castella has prayed, Tarala uses the feather quill, the wish, writes the only piece of parchment that she has, which is the note that she got from Arkadas.
The suicide note from Arkadas is the only parchment. Well played.
She says, I want the father of my children and the love of my life to be there with us and not be dead.
So the response was...
This is the response!
Tarala, you are the essence of Omniel. You will remember all the good times between the two of you. You can cast 20 d8 healing at will as a standard action. Every man you are attracted to will look like Malak.
Oh.
Awkward. So we're gonna end up going to like a tribe, like a village of Scandinavian men, and they're all gonna look the same to her. That's gonna be a thing.
Yeah, there was some language at that point from me.
Not the response she was hoping for.
It was
Obviously
Norwegian.
not.
Yeah, it was Norwegian language.
Norwegian.
I promise.
Yeah.
It was definitely sailor language.
Yeah.
And I don't swear, so...
And while she's reading it, lovely, lovely character that Ian is, starts looting the bodies of Arkadas.
He's not using the stuff, so we might as well make use of the stuff. And to be fair, I think everybody took a little piece of that equipment list. So it's
I
not
didn't!
Okay, so almost everyone.
Oh, this is just for Arkadas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We haven't even gotten to the angels list.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, like, to be fair, I'm not the only one who's like, hey, since he's not going to use it, I'll replace something of mine, with something better.
So now as it stands, the character that I was originally playing this game with, which is Castella, I now have her sister, Tarala, who is pregnant with twins. The father of her children has just died. And also her best friend, who she happened to be married to, has just died. She doesn't know much about the other circumstances surrounding this party. But that's where she is right now, and she's like, well, I don't know, practically have celestial powers now, almost. Like,
You got a little angel in you.
Yeah.
Got a couple.
20d8 worth.
Yeah. So it's
Silver lining?
kind of crazy.
Silver lining here, you have one less character sheet to run.
That's true.
You have one less character sheet to run. One less index, yeah, that's okay. I'll take that. That's yeah.
Also, spoilers. So Lance's character, since
Has
he
ceased
died,
to be. The spark of his life is smothered in shite.
yes,
He is not.
he is definitely not anymore. All of his stuff was divided by the universe to each of the different characters.
Yes. There's a last will and testament that goes along with it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The fact is that people get stuff.
Right. Now, he's also coming back as a new character.
That I have to create.
Correct.
Complete with equipment.
It is going to be an angel of death.
Oh boy.
Instead of having the divine magic, he'll now have an arcane angel.
So instead of being like deities of good, we're going to be Cenobites, just raffle stomping this. We're just going to roll through here and murder face everything.
Well, especially with you, yeah, very much.
Yeah. Oh my god, I read the Tarnhelm. Like, I looked up what that thing does.
Yeah. It is an artifact.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Congratulations.
It's scary.
That's why he was wearing it.
But I like it.
So that's the reason I wanted to have us record this, is kind of have player reactions to what the characters did
and
finish
as
our
a
story.
GM, I mean, if you totally mess up like I messed up, roll with it. Because in the end, something like this can happen. And none of this would have happened without Arkadas. Even though for like 2 sessions, he was
racist.
He was like the most hated character. We were like, we don't want this guy around anymore. He ended up being pretty key. So definitely roll with it. See where it goes. And
a lot of credit to both you and Avital for writing the characters that you did.
Yeah.
That was
and
amazeballs.
Honestly, everybody here had a role to play in this thing.
Even if it was steal your stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness.
But I mean, Lance and Avital created that love connection between their characters, and
the music.
Yeah, and with that, that was the real story thread through this. So I mean, Avital created like a short story using, was it Castella or Tarala?
Well, they were both in it.
Okay.
But, I mean, it was Castella, Tarala, and Malak, and Arkadas was there too. It was just something that they did after the last game.
Once we found out there was an Arkadas, we had to find a reason for him.
So, yeah.
Thank you for retconning him, man.
Yeah. I need to edit that story, because a friend of mine told me that it might actually be able to be publishable, so that would be
sweet.
cool.
That would be awesome.
Mm-hmm. So, fingers crossed. I gotta get in contact with him. So.
But this is, as we've said in previous podcast episodes, this is the sort of session that GMs dream for. And
you make your players cry.
Yep.
But
it's that emotional connection.
No, the player, you made yourself cry.
No, the emotional connection I have with the characters, and the fact that I cry. No, like this is amazing. Like,
and it's up to the DM to engage
what makes
these sorts
it
of
such.
things.
This is why I like role playing, the characters in the story, and
and why it's important to give your DM something to work with.
Oh yeah,
instead of just letting the DM make it up, and you go, "Well, I guess that was in my backstory." Sure,
write that 15-page backstory that he'll never read.
Yeah, it's important to include NPCs in your background because your character came from somewhere. They didn't just get farted into existence.
Exactly.
I mean, so
and that was, the strength of the storyline that Lance and Avital created for these two characters is why we got to this point, and. So, it was important for us to, especially right afterwards, to record this so we can get the reaction. But anything else?
I think we're good.
All right.
That's it.
Well, thank you very much, guys, and please listen to other episodes of The Established Facts, and we'll catch you guys later. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Please visit us at www.theestablishedfacts.com and our Facebook page, facebook.com/theestablishedfacts. If you would like to support us by buying some merchandise, visit cafepress.com/castingrobot.